taught shortlisting. What are the universities? What are the schools? That is the fundamental starting process. How can I do a master's program in the most cost-effective way? Are you getting any external pressure? உங்களுக்கு வந்து வெளியில இருந்து ஏதாவது pressure இருக்கா that for you to do a master's program, that your parents are setting up an expectation? அம்மா அப்பா மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்களா, நீனும் மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு pressure இருக்கா? Hello and welcome back. வணக்கம். இன்னைக்கு பேச போற டாபிக் வந்து ஒரு சூப்பரான டாபிக், which is when to start preparing for your masters. மாஸ்டர்ஸ் டிகிரி பண்ண போறோம்னா எப்போ அதுக்கு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. ஸோ இதில் வந்து ஒரு சூப்பரான ஒரு ஸ்டோரி ஒன்று இருக்கு. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் எதுக்கு மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லி. When I was a kid, right, I don't know, for some odd reason, என்னோட பெரிய அக்கா வந்து எப்போதுமே சொல்லிகிட்டே இருப்பாங்க, நீ வந்து மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணணும், நீ வந்து டாக்டர் ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கன்சிஸ்டன்ட்லி ஷி வாஸ் புஷிங் தட் மெசேஜ். நீ வந்து மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணி யூ ஹாவ் டு டூ தட் அஸ் அ ப்ரோக்ராம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. ஸோ இட் வாஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் drilled in my mind that I have to do my masters. But only much later I figured out that, you know what, hey, I did not have the credentials, or I did not have that real aptitude to do a master's program. இதில் fundamental question என்னன்னா, a lot of people generally have that mindset that I want to do a master's without realizing why. Why do you have to do a master's? So இன்னைக்கு பேச போகிற வீடியோவில் வந்து we will talk about, do you have to do a master's and when do you have to start preparing for your master's? ரெண்டு டாபிக்குமே அட்ரஸ் பண்ணுவோம். Okay, but first of all I want you to think about this. Are you getting any external pressure? உங்களுக்கு வந்து வெளியில இருந்து ஏதாவது pressure இருக்கா that for you to do a master's program, that your parents are setting up an expectation? அம்மா அப்பா மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்களா, நீனும் மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு pressure இருக்கா? Think about it. Is it there? And if you're doing it for that reason, please don't even touch that. It is not necessary. நீங்க பண்ணணும்னு அவசியமே கிடையாது masters. Okay, that is one thing. The second thing which I also want you to think about it is, in my own organization, within the VDOC group of companies and many other companies, what I generally see when I'm talking to somebody in my finance team or in my HR team or something like that, they have a master's in biotechnology or master's in computer science, and they are doing an HR job. And somebody who has a finance degree goes on to do a master's program in HR. So there is like a random combination of various different things. So idhula enna, you just go on to do a master's program just for the sake of getting a master's degree. Are we trying to impress people with a degree? A lot of people put their many degrees after their names. Why? Are we putting a statement out there that, you know what, hey, I've done so much of academics? But are you really putting your academics to work to solve a particular problem? I want you to think in a different lens. எப்படி நீங்க யோசிக்கணும்னா, the word masters, where does it come from? It's a mastery of a particular craft or a mastery of a particular trade. That is where masters come from. அந்த டிகிரியோட பேரே வந்து. நீங்க வந்து ஏதாவது பண்ண போறீங்கன்னா, you want to think, can I become a master of that? And that's the reason why you want to pursue a master's. For example, you want to master the art of HR. So you go on to do a master's program in HR, an MBA in HR, right? And then you are investing your career in that area, which is the HR realm, and you continue to progress, and you're making a significant contribution and a difference to the society and the whole trade by itself. That is when you do a master's program. Because there is no employer who is saying that we will give you a job only if you have your masters. யாருமே கிடையாது. எந்த எம்ப்ளாயருமே சொல்றது இல்லை that உங்ககிட்ட மாஸ்டர்ஸ் இருந்தால் தான் உங்களுக்கு வேலை இருக்குன்னு சொல்லி. There are lots and lots of job opportunities even without a degree. There are lots of job opportunities if you just do your bachelor's program. But fundamental thing I want you to think about is, எதில் வந்து நீங்கள் டிகிரி படிக்கிறீங்களோ, because you're investing 4 years of your lifetime or 3 years of your lifetime, whatever you're studying, make sure that whatever you've learned, you are applying in a particular area or a field where you are making a significant contribution. That's how you want to think about it. In any case, if you've decided that you wanted to do your master's and you want to excel in that particular trade, when do you have to start preparing? So I'm going to talk about two areas. One, doing masters in any of the colleges or universities locally in India, or if you're planning to do your masters in overseas, in the US, Australia, Canada, Japan, wherever you want to do your master's program. So my recommendation is that it's anywhere between 12 to 18 months process. Okay, 1 year to 1.5 years, typically on the time frame irukano. Why do you have that 1.5 to a year long process? So there is a step-by-step approach. How can I do a master's program in the most cost-effective way without putting much burden on your own financial resources, which could be your parents or you, whatever, like after your bachelor's program, if you're working somewhere, am I in a position to do my master's program without spending a whole lot of money? Within my own experience, my own daughter, she went on to do her master's program because she wanted to excel in that particular area. So she did her bachelor's program, bachelor's mudichittu, master's program was a lot for a 2-year program. Anna, she was able to get a lot of scholarships and the funding assistance which came in from the school because that is the area what she was specializing in. Adanala the amount of money what she had to spend for a master's program was just a small amount because the rest she was earning during the program while she was working, while she was doing her master's. So during the master's program, you have opportunities to do research assistants, RN Solvanga, or TA, teacher's assistants jobs, as a result of which you could earn money for which you can fund the program and your overall cost of your master's program comes down. So first step, when you're thinking about master's program, I always want you to think about how is it that you're going to spend the least amount of money. During the 18-month process, the first stage is figuring out the schools, universities, local, international, that's how you should divide and start thinking about it. Go ahead and start shortlisting. What are the universities? What are the schools? That is the fundamental starting process, right? Where are the schools? Which universities, whether it is local or international? Do you have sufficient funds to do the master's program? Shortlist the schools and prepare a checklist. Every school will have a different need. Certain schools will have tests or exams what you got to take before you join. Certain schools will say, hey, we need to get recommendation letters. Certain schools will say we need essays or personal statement. இது எல்லாமே ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்கூலுக்கும் dependent. There are certain schools where they will not ask you for anything at all. You can apply to those schools as well. Also, when you are thinking about a master's program, think about which school you want to go, which is going to make a huge difference. Again, இது எல்லாமே பண்ணனும்னா I want you to think mastery of the trade, what you're going to do, or mastery of the craft. நீங்க எந்த ஸ்கூல்ல பண்ண போறீங்களோ your masters, it should create a significant impact for your career. That's the way I want you to think. Don't think about just doing your masters randomly at any school, any university. That is the very essence and purpose of a master's. A school which has such great faculty, such great professors who are really going to give you that skill. That's the way I want you to think about it. Just don't go, எனக்கும் ஒரு மாஸ்டர்ஸ் வேணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஏதாவது ஒரு கரஸ்பாண்டன்ஸ் கோர்ஸ் எங்கேயாவது மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணுறது it's not going to make a huge difference. So first 6 months creating a checklist, and the first 6 months is for your assessment exams. Like colleges and universities, ஏதாவது GRE, TOEFL, this, that, and the various other entrance examinations கேட்குறாங்கன்னா, go ahead and prepare for that entrance examinations in the 18th to the 12th month. Get your scores. You might have to do several attempts to get your scores better. You can start doing that because in my assumption, நீங்க ஏதாவது வேலை செஞ்சிட்டு இருக்கலாம் and you just passed out of your school, you are already committed to putting X number of hours for your work, so you'll have to create time. Time management is something important. You'll have to create time to make sure that you're investing enough hours to prepare for your assessment exams. That is the 6 months time frame what you're taking. Once you finish that, the next 6 months is going to be around your recommendation letters. You have worked for several organizations. Utilize the 12-month to the 6-month time frame to put in recommendation letters from your employers, from your colleges where you studied, from your faculties. So your application really looks good. The last 6 months is focusing on, in case if the university asks for essays and personal statements, utilize that time to put together your personal statements, your essays together, and the last 1 to 2 months is where you will focus on applying to several schools. At best, you want to think about maybe 5 schools, 3 schools which are your top schools, what you want to attend, and in case if you do not get that, then you want to look at the next 2 schools what you're looking at. Right. Most importantly, I want you to think before you go through this path of doing your masters. I want you to think, are you really doing your masters to master the craft? And there are hundreds and thousands of jobs, or if not millions of jobs, which are available without your masters, and things are evolving. You don't even need a degree. All you need is a skill. But if you have the inclination to master the craft, go for it. That's what I would say. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was worth your time. I want you to think, was this content relevant? Did this help you in any way or not? And it has to be a learning experience for me as well. But if you like this content, there might be somebody else whom you may be in a position to help. Please go ahead and share, like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching again. For the time what you invest, I am forever grateful. Thank you.